overcoming obstacles, glory.
What a horse, what a combination, and what a time!
In a region where equestrian sport has been growing at full gallop, a brand new major league, the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League.
43.83 down with just one to go.
The best human and equine athletes of the sport battling to qualify for the amazing Longines FEI World Cup Jumping Final.
Et il le fait! Oui, pour 15e! Extraordinaire, quelle finale fantastique! Increíble! ¡Qué tiempo! ¡Qué caballo! ¡El ganador!
A unique sport, rich in personalities, where human and horse must have a true partnership to succeed, and where men and women share the same podium. An electrifying finish to the Longines season, a truly global final, where the biggest stars of international jumping will fight for the trophy and the massive €1.3 million jackpot.
A world-class performance by a world-class man.
The most exciting equestrian events in 14 outstanding venues across 3 countries: Mexico, the United States, and Canada. Taking the sport across the continent to iconic cities and world-class equestrian locations. 2015 goes down in American sport history with the launch of the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League. The perfect combination of high-profile sport, family entertainment, and thrilling competition. Kicking off in August across the continent.
Good evening, welcome to the $35,000 Las Vegas Welcome Jumper Speed Classic. At a great week of competition, the 2015 Las Vegas National. A nice large field we do have joining us. Original 60 starters in this competition against the clock. Now presented by Heart Place Foundation. Again, $35,000 Las Vegas FEI Welcome Speed Classic this season presented by Heart Place Foundation. We do have some very special guests joining us for our pre-show here. And these are young ladies from the Las Vegas Young Entertainers. And as they're just walking in the ring, our group right there, Lynn Bolinas, Ash Bolinas, Maddie Nering, Maddie Pepe, Laney Cho, Ryan Lake, and Riley Warner.
Hello, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Las Vegas National Horse Show. I'm Jimmy Toronto, alongside with Joey Gatlin. We'll be commentating your class for tonight. Joey, great event we got here in Las Vegas. A beautiful venue, great footing, and top-notch course designer here.
And a great start list. We have, I believe, about 46 different riders, numerous different countries represented this evening. And as always, a beautiful course designed by Olaf Peterson Jr. from Germany.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a nice class here. This is a qualifier for Saturday night, which is a big qualifier. That's a World Cup qualifier for the finals. We've got some great horse rider combinations here tonight, so I think we're going to see an exciting class.
I agree with you, and we have to remember that the top 30 horse rider combinations are actually riders will qualify for Saturday, so there's a lot at stake tonight.
Yeah, I think tonight they've got to be a little careful. It's a speed class, so they got to be careful not to be too quick and risk having a couple jumps down. Most importantly, they want to get in for Saturday night.
And there'll be some big money Saturday night, bigger jumps, big crowd. Everything's big in Las Vegas.
And that was the Las Vegas Young Entertainers.
Yeah, here we see some of the start list. We see Niall Nasser. He's been a big winner. He won the $1 million class a couple of years ago. Lucy Davis, always one to watch. She won the big class just last week in Thermal. We've got Kent Farrington early on. We're going to see Hardin Towel on his top horse, Lucifer. A lot of East Coast riders here. We've got Margie Engel with her superstar horse, Royce. Chris McRae with Wanique, her husband John McRae, Urs Forloy from Europe. The list goes on and on. We've got some young riders as well, and we've got Matt Williams, 2-3-time Olympic rider. He's riding Valinska S, a horse that was formerly ridden by Michael Dorman. So, again, I think we're seeing a great class here.
And again, like you said, some really talented young riders, Carl Cook. One of them, Mark Grock, is building his string. We got Hannah Selleck. Peter Lutz back in the big ring. We haven't seen him for a number of years. Casey Ament, one of the most talented young riders coming along. So we have a nice mix of riders and horses.
Yeah, I agree. Will Simpson here with the Dude. That's an exciting horse. Very careful, very fast. We don't know what his strategy is for tonight. Obviously, he's trying to qualify as well. And Quentin Judge, who's actually leading the World Cup standing. So, I think Quentin really has set his sights to get in the World Cup finals this year. So I think that's a real goal for him.
And, we have a defending World Cup champion in Flexible and Rich Fellers, and we'll get to see them jump later on this evening as well.
That means alternate hydroplex on course, and that is 4 faults. First refusal, 4 faults as well. Second refusal is elimination and time fault. They're going to add up very quickly, no matter one time fault.
Here we see a nice view of the course out here. I think Olaf Jr., one of my favorite builders, always does a tremendous job. We see him on the East Coast a lot. Now here he is in this beautiful ring in Las Vegas. I think he set just enough of a test. I wouldn't say it's overly built, but I think, most importantly, he wants the horse to get comfortable here tonight. And I think, like any good course designer, I think he's building as the week goes on. He wants him to come in here, get comfortable, get loose, and have a great class Saturday night. Again, World Cup qualifier, big money. So,
primarily in Del Mar. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of our national anthem.
I think that the course, like you said, Jimmy, is very fair. Olaf always likes to build the horses up. It is a speed class, but like you say, everyone has to make a plan for their horse and for qualifying on Saturday. There's a few places where there's going to be some options. There's a couple of inside turn options. There's a couple of striding options. There's a couple of difficult approaches to a couple of the jumps. So we have a little bit of everything out there.
Yeah, and I think we have a few riders out here that got two mounts. So I think maybe your horse you're not going to ride in the World Cup class Saturday night. Tonight you go in here and you take a shot and you try to win this class. After all, it is a ranking class, $35,000 at stake. So for sure, if you have two mounts in this class, you're going to take a shot with one of them.
Agreed.
And here we see our first one. We see Enrique Gonzalez and Santos. Enrique represented his country of Mexico on numerous occasions. He's been to all the big games, Central American Games, Pan Am Games, you name it, he's been there. He's a veteran. He's actually spent a lot of time here on the West Coast the last several years.
He is. They've based down in Rancho Santa Fe right now with the E2 stables that he and Eduardo Menendez have together.
Here we see the first line. You and I walked this. Basically, there's no option. I think that's 5 strides for everybody.
And there is an inside option there. He chose to go around, give his horse a big gallop to that double that we walked and won. Rail on the way out. Just got a little.
Yeah, I think when he went around, the horse got his eye off that jump just for a split second, and Enrique rode a little bit strong and maybe got on there a little stronger than he wanted to.
There, that line we walked that forward 6, and he was right on that. Back around to that double. And again, we walked a 6 there, and that rode spot on.
Yeah, I mean, it walked maybe a little longer than it just rode. I think that's the way it's going to be. Late in the course like that, coming back towards the gate, I think the 6 is really not an issue.
And there we walked a shape bean 7 from the Liverpool to the Oxer, and 6 again to the Vegas planks, and that worked out very nicely there for Enrique. And again, that was an option line we walked, and he just loped it in 6.
Yeah, the last line I would say that was the line that was most in question. It kind of walked pretty long in 7, especially second to last jump being a skinny. You want to be very careful to that, but Enrique made it look so easy. I think as the class goes on, and again, the people that are going in here to be a little competitive, they're all going to just canter down there and do 6 strides.
And that's that line you're just talking about, that last line, that skinny jump to the Oxer, and you can see he just got there super nice in the 6. That's a nice young horse coming along for Enrique.
Yeah, and I think for the riders to come, I think Enrique went in there and he was competitive, so he kind of let the other riders know how it was going to ride, but, you know, when you are taking a little bit of a shot.
And this is a California girl, Nicole Honert, riding a 13-year-old chestnut mare, NJK No Regret. Nicole's been showing this horse up in some of the bigger classes this year. We've kind of watched her along the way in the California shows at Show Park and up in San Juan Capistrano at the Blenheim Equisports facility. And I think the mare is quite a cute little trier, and Nicole just, you know, she's getting some experience at these bigger jumps. A little feisty chestnut mare there.
Yeah, looks like it's got plenty of fire there.
Jumped up that 5 stride nice there. There she's making that inside turn inside the Vegas jump that we looked at earlier.
Yeah, and that really is sort of a non-issue. That inside turn is not a big deal. And then here again doing the inside turn just around the Liverpool. Nice and neat. But then she ends up adding here to the Longines Oxer and then has the back rail. You know, that's where you got to be a little bit aware. You know, off the inside turn, it's going to ride a little bit longer than going around, obviously, and just didn't get across the Oxer.
And there, when she moved up nice in the 6th, the mare covered that Oxer beautifully. And just experience there a little bit for Nicole. Here she's making that turn to the Liverpool. And that shaping 7, she got a little bouncy in the step there. And again, just got a little slow, had that back rail. Ends up getting up there nice in the 6. Making that little bit of an inside there to the skinny. And again, the 6 really not an issue there, shows itself nicely.
You know, as you said, Joey, you know, coming in here, getting some experience, she had a few rails down. But you got to go in there and do it, especially they're coming off of an outdoor season, just coming from thermal and some bigger rings, coming right here into this indoor ring. It's a totally different ride. So she's, you know, maybe doesn't have the experience that some of these riders, and you got to go in and you got to get it done. You got to go and do it and learn and make some mistakes, and it just isn't going to happen overnight.
That's right, and this is a great arena to get that indoor experience in. And here's Hardin Tal on Lucifer the 5th. This is turned out to be one of his favorite horses.
Yeah, this really, I was talking with Hardin earlier. This is probably his top horse. Horse he rode in the World Cup finals in Vegas at the Thomas and Mack. Very, very careful. Actually related to a horse Margie Engel had. Margie Engel had Lord Speezy, and this is his brother. Horse with his own style. I wouldn't say this horse jumps in beautiful style or has perfect technique, but really knows where the poles are, and he is very careful.
And he and Hardin have a good relationship. You know, Hardin was telling me a story a little bit that, you know, kind of was, everybody kind of looked past him, and then Hardin took him on and made him his top horse, and it's been quite successful. Really dropped inside there and got that double inside.
Yeah, I got to say, that was pretty slick. I don't think we're going to see that happen too many times. He ends up doing 7 to that Oxer, but he's been so quick and neat everywhere else, I don't think it matters.
Pretty tidy back there to the Liverpool. Got a little dead, a little deep off that turn. Big effort there at the Oxer. Nice in that 6. And he'll just try to keep it coming home on that 4, so hopefully he qualifies for Saturday. His time is going to be great.
Yeah, that was a shame. That was actually a good round. He had the right idea, and I think when he turned in on that, it just showed up a little deeper than he would have wanted. And as you said, he just was a little dead leaving the ground, and just no oomph to leave the ground and head the top rail down.
That's the Oxer after the Liverpool, and he just really had a great gallop up there, and the horse tried beautifully there. Great jump there. Here we see Kent Farrington, and he's on Gazelle, a beautiful 9-year-old bay mare, Belgian warm blood. Kent's been showing everywhere. He's everywhere. He's in Europe, he's on the East Coast, he's on the West Coast, he's everywhere, Kent.
Yeah, Kent really's been on fire. Had a tremendous show just a couple weeks ago at the National Horse Show in Kentucky. He won both of the major Grand Prix there with two other horses. Actually won the Friday class with Willow, and then he won the World Cup qualifier there with his Top Mount Voyeur. And this is really, we keep saying this is his young horse, young up and coming, but already Gazelle has jumped some big tracks. She did the Pan Am Games. And I'd say this is really his second horse in line to Voyeur. And I think he's, in the back of his mind, he's maybe thinking Rio with this horse. In case, God forbid something was to go wrong with Voyeur. This is a top horse.
Beautiful technique, so careful, just looks so balanced and lovely to ride, and he's just always on it, always accurate. And it just shows you in our sport, when you kind of get on a roll and you have a nice string of horses, how things just kind of keep happening, and you get that rhythm, and you get that winning mode going, and you keep on that flow, just like he is here on course. He's just keeping on a great gallop, coming back around to the Liverpool.
Yeah, Ken, I would say he's really on top of his game. As you said, he's got great horses, he's got great owners, he's got a great program. Alex Warner behind the scenes. Really, it's just a well-oiled machine. Everything he does well. He's smart. That was too bad. He turned on the skinny, and the mare really didn't come up with the front end the way he would have liked. Maybe got there a little deeper than he thought, and didn't jump it great, and had a rub there. But again, probably good enough to get in for Saturday night. I don't think he's really worried. I don't think he was trying to win this class.
Yeah, it looks like she just misjudged that a little bit with a front leg there, and just she is 9. She just made a little misjudgment there.
And as we talked earlier, Kent, that's the whole reason he brought that mare here. He's trying to get her some more mileage, some more experience, and they're going to make some mistakes as they're going up the ranks.
And here's Richard Spooner on Chivas Z, and he's 16-year-old great gelding. And Richard knows this horse quite well. He's had him in his string quite a long time, and Richard is quite experienced, as we all know. Many wins around the world. And Chivas, he's a very, very talented horse, but he can be a little bit moody sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. It can be a little quirky, but can win any class anywhere. I mean, he's run hard on the field at Spruce Meadows, and, as we know, Richard is a real winner, a fighter. This is a horse that was formerly ridden by Ashley Bond. But as you said, he's really got a partnership with this horse. He's ridden him a long time now, and some great wins, as recent as just this year.
And the horse is just, he's got a ton of talent, scope, and he's careful. If Richard can get him focused and just keep him in front of his leg and keep the horse focused on his job, you could see a nice clear round out of this pair tonight. Richard making a smart inside turn there to that vertical, setting Chivas right up to that nicely. Easy up over that Longines. Didn't take that inside turn that Hardin did.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that a lot. I think Hardin did it very well, but I don't think we're going to see that happen a lot tonight.
Richard galloped down that 6 from the double very easily, and he's just keeping a nice pace around, giving himself a little more room to the Liverpool with Chivas. Rode out and shaped that 7 beautifully. Easy up over the red plank. Getting him lined out a little to that skinny. And nice up in that 6. There we have a first clear.
That was a nice round. I think he played it smart. He was prompt. He was neat. But, I don't think he used the horse up. Again, maybe a low ribbon by the end of the night, but obviously setting the horse up for Saturday night.
Using Olaf's course to build up like we talked about earlier, build up for the big class on Saturday. You can see he just has a great gallop down to the Longines Oxer and just easy over that. Richard right back on the job, getting ready for the next jump. And this is Nicole Peterson riding Fast Flow, 10-year-old bay mare. And she's a young rider, again, jumping some bigger jumps this year in her career, getting some experience. Again, a great place, like you said, Jimmy, to get some great indoor experience here at the Las Vegas National in the South Point Arena. This is a nice mare. I've watched her go a little bit. She's a lovely mare, and Nicole is a nice rider and just getting some experience under her belt.
Yeah, probably our youngest rider here tonight, but tonight playing with the big boys.
We all have to start sometime. We all have that invaluable amount of time we put in the saddle and that experience when we started at a rider's age like this. And she sits up there and she's got a good position. She's just got to go out there and do it.
Yeah, little too deep there. She went around to really set up that vertical, but still, once she turned, she sort of kept adding up, and just ran out of room. But I agree with you, as you said, looks like a really, really nice mare.
Yeah, kind of helped her out there. Stepped up, stretched across that oxer. And here, Nicole, she's just taking her time a little bit, trying to get out and get straight, give herself a good, and again, a little bit deep, and that's just a little experience. Nice ride up that line there. There, she got that vertical figured out nicely.
And this for sure looks like it should be a nice horse to go up the ranks with. Looks very rideable, perfect technique, plenty of scope, looks careful enough. Looks like a really nice horse.
And a nice round for Nicole to get under her belt, up against the big boys in an indoor setting like this. You can see here the vertical, like you said, Jimmy, she just got there too deep off the turn, and experience will take care of that. Rides up beautiful to the Longines mare, jumps it nice.
Yeah, the nice thing was she knew. She made a mistake at the vertical, and she knew next jump she had to really ride up and get across the oxer. And again, if you don't make mistakes, it's hard to really learn. You got to, the saying goes way back. You've got to learn from your mistakes. And, sometimes you go in and you do some things wrong and you come back a better rider the next time.
Yeah, when you're in that situation again, you know what to do. Well, here we have NKH Quanto with Christian Henneken. He's representing Germany. And this is a bit of a younger type, a 9-year-old French horse here. And you saw this one probably jump last week at the Sunshine Tour in Thermal. Got big and scopy and slow there.
Yeah, looks like a powerful horse, big jump. I would say a little bit of a slower going type.
Looks like Christian's doing a little work up there, kind of keeping it on the gallop and keeping it up in front of his leg. Plenty of scope there. Gets up the 6 pretty easy, but like you say, Jimmy, it's just got a little bit slower model than a few of the others, but it's young too. It's just a 9-year-old.
Yeah, I would say it looks a little cold, but then again, he doesn't even look like he's wearing the spur, so he obviously must be getting enough reaction.
Managing him there in the 6 and finishing and get a clear round out of him.
Yeah, that was a great round. Really rode well. Horse is a super jumper. As you said, it's probably a little green and a little young, but I think once that horse gets it, it looks like it's going to jump a big track.
Yep. Little excitement there. He likes the crowd. There you can see jumped into the double really nice and just jumped easy out. Plenty of scope. And then just, Christian kind of has to kick him and get him going to pay attention to the next jump, but got it done. And here we have Everardo Hegovich Diaz Infante riding Casper. I believe this is a new mount for Everardo. It's an 11-year-old stallion. And Everardo, he's represented Mexico in quite a few international competitions. He was on the Central American team, gold-winning team one year. His business is based in San Diego, California, and I believe, like I said, this is a new ride for Everardo.
You know, like Enrique, so many of the Mexican riders spend a lot of time in California. I know when I've been to the Oaks to judge, I see a lot of them there. Then again, out west here, you've got some great venues. Stephanie Wheeler and Robert do a great job with these horse shows out here, and obviously it shows. You get now you're getting a lot of the East Coasters come out here, and as I said, a lot of the Mexican riders really enjoy it.
Well, and we do. We're very fortunate. We have quite a few very nice locations to show at, and it does. It brings a lot of people up from south of the border, and it's really nice to have our East Coast competitors out here bringing the level of show jumping up again. Great to have these ranking classes. And Everardo with this younger horse, getting to know it a little bit. He's having a couple rails, but he's getting some valuable miles, and this is a nice looking type horse, kind of a little on the lighter side, a little thoroughbred looking, and it's going in a hackamore and a bit, and it looks like Everardo's maybe just trying to figure that out a little bit. Maybe struggling a little bit with the bridle. Could be a new horse, just kind of trying to figure out what's going to work best. A hackamore can work beautifully on some horses, and some horses it's not so good. And it looks like Everardo's trying to decide if he wants to finish or jump one and call it an evening and go back and figure this horse out a little bit more. We're at the end of the season right now, but it's going to be, we have a big season up ahead of us in 2016, and it looks like Evie's just going to jump a nice jump and go back and do his homework.
Yeah, for sure. He was having a little bit of a rideability issue throughout the round. And as you said, well, maybe with the hackamore, maybe that's something new. The horse wasn't dealing with it well, and he had a few down, so no need to continue. He's going to call it a night and save that horse for another class.
And here we have our rider from Chile, I believe, Mateus Fernandez Cuevas, riding DeSarno VT, a 12-year-old bay gelding. Mateus has his business up in Northern California, and saw him a little bit maybe at the Sacramento International Horse Show. This horse is a nice looking horse. Don't know much about the results with Mateus, but he's a good rider. Watched him in a couple of other classes. Like a big strided horse. Scopy. Let's see what Mateus does here.
Big rangy horse. The 5 got very easy for him. I would think for sure any of those option lines he's going to leave out, because the first line just got so short for him.
Jumped that nice.
Yeah, big jumper. Very good hind end.
He's going around. He's taking the around option there.
Yeah, I was going to say it was just too late. I think he knew he had a lot of stride and a lot of horse, and he went to hold out for 6, but just overdid it and was just late getting up to 6, and the horse was a little bit confused. I think at that point the horse was thinking he was going to chip and do 7, but really it was just it was too difficult.
Yeah, and just could be a new ride for him, a little communication gap there or something like that. He'll come back and probably jump that big Scopy.
I have to say, so far what I've watched of this round, I really like this horse. It looks like a big jumper. And I don't think the horse was looking to stop there. I think there was, as you said, a miscommunication. Came right back, jumped it, and doesn't seem to be fazed by it.
Like you said, the stride is so big, he'd lope down that 6. Here he'll have to really take this 7 out. Like he's having just a little communication there again with the bridle, you know. That lined out well in the 6. And he took it out and did 7 there. Just maybe working a little rideability, but looks like a nice horse for the future.
Yeah, it sure does. I have to say, I like that horse. You know, the Liverpool, he ended up getting there way deeper than he would have liked. And then, as you said, I think he maybe was working on the rideability a little bit and decided to make the horse wait to the last jump and do 7 strides. There we see the replay. You see, just stayed out too far and was just late getting there in the 6.
Here we have Cara Anthony riding Ama de la Demi Lune. Cara Anthony's business up in Washington. And this is a 9-year-old Belgium warmblood mare. She won the $10,000 meter 40 class at the Pacific Crest Open earlier this year with Cara. And Cara has a full service business up in Washington with the equitation and the hunters and the jumpers, and this is a nice young mare for Cara.
Yeah, she's got a very successful business. Both her daughters did very well in the equitation, and now her one daughter Carly spending a lot of time with Eric Lamaze and the Ziegler family, really getting to show at some big shows. So I think that's really giving her a boost for her career. I think, you know, Cara realized, you know, sometimes you got to turn them loose a little bit, go off and get a little experience. So she's, I think, really enjoying her summer over in Europe now and spends the winters in Wellington. And Cara's come to Wellington the last couple of years as well.
This is a lovely mare. I've watched her do a few classes, and she wants to be very careful, and she tries very hard. You know, Cara doesn't get all the experience in the world up in Washington with some of these big classes and these indoor venues. So, you know, it's great having a horse like this to have in these classes. I really like this mare. I think she's really game. She's a good jumper. She's careful. You know, Cara's given her some good experience in this ring. You see the plank come down there, but, you know, just a little green maybe going into that corner.
You know, also, for most of these horses, this isn't the first time in the ring. They probably altered the warm class over the last couple of days. But I think tonight it's a more real class. The jumps are coming at you a little faster, especially if you're looking at an inside turn here and there. I think yesterday and the day before, you jumped maybe a 135 or 140 class. You really could take your time and take it easy. Now tonight the jumps are, you know, they're right out of the turns. The inside turns really make it difficult. So it's a whole different ball game tonight.
Yeah. And here we have Niall Nassar riding Akita, an 8-year-old bay mare. And this is a newer ride for Niall. I have not seen this horse do too many classes. A lower class, like you said, some of the riders do during the week. She's a nice tight mare. It looks like she has nice blood. You know, Niall, again, representing another country. He's a representative of Egypt. So we have a very international field here. Niall went with his old partner, Lordan, earlier in the evening. So he's been around the ring once tonight, which I think is very helpful sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And that horse he knows well. That's the horse that he won the $1 million class in 2013 at Saugerties, New York. And like you said, this is a newer mount, but so far up the first line, looks like a real quality horse.
Jumped that quite nice, and he's going to just kind of smoothly do that inside turn. She was right there for him. Gallops right up in the 6th. That was quite nice.
That was a shame. Jumping a beautiful round and looks very careful. Maybe just overdid that just a touch. And then again, done finish out behind it. The Liverpool has that down as well.
Might have been just a little green there, looked down at that Liverpool and just didn't quite finish behind there. Finishing up very nicely there at the skinny, and then he just lets her kind of keep on the gallop and kind of learn something maybe there and coming to the last jump. Nice mare, though. Nice ride.
Yeah, I agree. It looks really nice. Looks like a nice horse for the future.
Here we can see the gallop to the last jump, and you just gallop down there, got a little long, and that time she kind of learned just to kind of get up a little higher and let that hind leg go a little bit more. Very nice young horse. Here we have Catherine Boyce Lockhart riding Pharaoh DC, 10-year-old bay gelding. And again, Carrie Ann, she's a younger professional getting started. I know she's getting some mileage in these classes. Has shown a little bit indoors. She got some mileage at the LA Masters earlier this year, and this little horse can really jump. Sometimes he jumps just a little too high, but maybe that mileage from a few other indoor shows will have proved to have been good mileage for him, and we'll see what Pharaoh DC does here. Compact model.
Yeah, I've watched this horse a little bit as well. Big jumper, can have a little bit of his own shape, but I think the horse can jump a big track.
I think if Carrie Ann can kind of just keep on a nice gallop, he seems to like that. She can kind of keep him motoring along and keep on the flow a little bit. Did that pretty well.
If I'm not mistaken, she might have shown him here in Vegas in the national division back at the World Cup finals.
I believe you're right. I do believe you're right. So hopefully that experience is going to pay off tonight. So far, he's keeping a nice shape, not getting himself too high in the air, and covering the oxers well. Spoke a little too soon.
Yeah, and she's not the first one that's happened to. That jump is not showing up great. They're coming through that turn, and they're all getting to Liverpool really deeper than they'd like.
Good solid round though for them tonight.
Yeah, I agree. That was a super round. As I said, just got to the Liverpool deeper than she would have liked.
That could get in for Saturday night. You know, we only have a couple of clears at the moment. Here we can see the Liverpool again, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think with that horse, the way his shape can be, I think probably a little deeper than she needed to be. I think if she come around the turn and just left him a little more room, she would have been okay.
Here we have Lucy Davis on Baron. Beautiful 11-year-old chestnut gelding, and Lucy's hot off a win from last weekend in the $350,000 class out at the Sunshine Series. And this is just a phenomenal horse, this horse.
I agree that the combination Lucy and Baron, this is about as good as it gets. She's won, I believe, maybe 3 5-star Grand Prix this year. Represented the U.S. in Nations Cup finals, different teams around the world. I really, if I was picking, I think right now you've really got to be looking at Lucy for Rio for the Olympic Games. We've got some strong riders. We've got Beasy, obviously. We've got McLean. We've got Kent. We've got Lauren Huff, Laura Kraut. We've got some strong ones for sure, but I think Lucy is right there in that top tier of riders. This is just a great match.
I agree with you totally, Jimmy. And she's had this horse since he was a 7-year-old, so she knows him quite well. She came up through the equitation ranks out here in California, has a good solid base and foundation, and she's so natural, and her and this horse are just a great team together. And I totally agree with you. She definitely would be on my consideration list as well.
Yeah, and as you said, she got a great start out here in California, and she was great on the hunters, and she was great on the equitation and the junior jumpers. And she hasn't really changed a lot. You know, obviously she's got a lot more experience. She's got a lot more mileage, but that softness and that finesse, horses just like her. They jump for her. You know, in the end, she's still a light, small girl. She's not a big, strong German rider, and horses aren't going to go that way. Lucy rides her style, and you can just see the way the horse just bounds off the ground for her.
And it's a great fit, and I think in our sport, that's so much of it. You have to have a great fit. It's all about having that really well-balanced horse-rider combination to be the most successful. You know, like there, she's getting quite deep to the vertical, but she knows Baron well, and he knows her, and he helps her out, and they jump a beautiful clear round.
And especially at this height, this is almost a schooling round for this horse. He's jumped, as I said, he's jumped the biggest tracks all over the world at this point, and kind of just went around like he was schooling at home.
There you can see she's making him wait there, making him get set up for Saturday night, hopefully, and little schooling ride there, like you said, and just, you know, jumps it just effortlessly. Here we have the winner from the last class, the Markel Meter 40 finals, Peter Pechenik. And this time he is on a Rivederci Alex, a 10-year-old bay gelding. And it looks like Peter and this horse competed over there at the Sunshine Tour. The horse is looks like it's had some nice classes under its belt at Rotterdam and in the Desert Circuit, Barcelona Nations Cup. Yeah, it looks like it has some nice miles. Looks like it's probably a new ride for Peter. And nice type. Nice and nice up that front line. Peter has him really between his leg and hand there. A little bit different than Lucy's ride.
Yeah, for sure. Very tall, very strong rider. Looks like he's got a lot of bit. So, lost his stirrup here.
Got it done. It does. It looks like he has some sort of kind of Western longer shank type of bit on this horse. A little bit similar to the same bit that he had on the winner of the previous class.
Yeah, maybe when something works, you stick with it.
Us riders, we've got our little idiosyncrasies. Jumped that nice. Rode well in the 7 there.
Now, he's the first one we've seen add up and do 7 to the plank. The 6 sort of walked right on the money, but he ended up doing 7 there. Maybe he's trying to make sure he comes home with just the 4.
Yeah, it looks like he will. Another 4 falter. Nice solid round though.
You can
have a little better look at the bit there when he walks. And a little bit of a longer shank type of Western barley. Just jumped that double. Beautiful though. Hung up just a touch in the turn there, but it worked out. There you can see where he lost the stirrup. Well, here we have another country represented in Japan with Ruma Hirota and Nick of Time, 11-year-old brown gelding. And Ruma is the nicest man. He jumped a beautiful round at one of the shows this summer and was just it was so exciting to see someone so happy about their round. He was patting his horse and biggest smile on his face. Such a lovely man. And this little horse just gallops and jumps and tries its heart out. I believe that Ruma bases out of Orange County right now with George Meyer and Gail Meyer there. Gave him a good stretch across too.
Yeah, got a little long at the second jump, and the horse really had to put those front legs. It looks to me like over the auctions, that's a little bit of his jumping style.
He's a little bit of a smaller type horse too, and kind of likes the gallop a little bit. That was unfortunate. I agree with you, Jimmy. It kind of just a little bit its technique with its front legs, a little bit like a Superman pose, but
yeah, a little, what we call a little slappy over the oxers.
That was unfortunate there. Just maybe a little tight on that turn back. Sweet horse, though. It tries really hard, and a good match with Ruma. Jumped that great. Bringing it home with 8 faults tonight, but a nice round. And he will be so happy. He just loves that horse. He's so happy. We love that. Big smile on his face. That's great. Love to see that sport. Here we'll see coming to the Liverpool what happened there, Jimmy.
Yeah, I just thought he was too deep. But, at that point, he already had one down. I thought he maybe was a little too risky turning that short and just ended up way too deep.
Here we have Tanya Lavorchek on Zanzibar, a beautiful white stallion. And I know that Tanya's new up in this division, and this horse she's had for a little bit. They've been building their partnership. He's a lovely jumper and has plenty of scope. I find that his rideability gets in his way a bit. He really gets tossing that head around when she tries to adjust his stride sometimes. So for me, that's going to be her challenge tonight, is to see if she can keep him semi-rideable.
A little too deep coming into that double. And as you said, he gets throwing that head. I think she got there a little deep, and he kind of threw his head up, and his legs just went down a little bit. Not a bad ride.
There she's trying to get her adjustment early, so maybe he can just focus a little bit. He gets a little busy sometimes. That was quite nice there. And there he stayed pretty nice in the bridle, so looks like Tanya's been doing her homework a little bit. See if she comes around here to Liverpool. She gave that some respect, which was good.
Yeah, but then still, she probably ended up deeper than anyone we've seen so far. But the horse gave her a great effort there.
Moved up pretty hard in that 6, and he gave her another good effort. She's going way around here now, getting very straight to the skinny. She got quite wide in the 8 there, and I think that cost her that rail at the last one.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, the last jump was definitely her fault. It's 6 or 7, and she stayed on the outside track and then ended up getting stuck in 8 and just way underneath that last oxer.
And again, I think, like we've talked, it's about getting some experience and, having a little bobble here and there. And, yeah, there he just kind of shifted off the ground and gave his nose a little toss at the A element of the first double and cost him that rail.
Well, that looks like a nice horse. I got to say, I like him. He's got a good jump.
Well, here we go with Margie Goldstein-Ingle and Royce. Uniquely mane-colored horse with that gray in there. I have to say I had a horse with a gray mane. It was one of my best horses ever. But Margie, she'll go for it a little bit tonight, I bet.
Yeah, this is definitely Margie's top horse. She represented the United States, rode on the team at Aachen. He's been everywhere. This horse started out as a young horse jumping big classes with Lyubov Kochetova from Russia. I believe he was jumping the World Cup qualifier at the American Gold Cup as a 6-year-old. So very seasoned at this point.
And 6 years old is quite young to be jumping World Cup qualifiers. So he's a brave, scopy, want to go jump horse.
Yeah, Margie loves Vegas. I think she actually came out here to go to some shows, and then since she was out here, she figured she'd bring a couple horses along.
Yeah, don't let her kid you. She's at the poker table too. I sat in Kuala Lumpur at the World Cup finals, and we were playing poker with horse cookies, so I know she likes to gamble too. And she's quite good at it.
Yeah, we're actually going to go see a show tomorrow night together.
There, she's getting it done there, giving Royce a big kick in the belly, getting him up in front of her leg. It's probably his first time in the ring tonight, so this is probably just the kind of course she wanted to see.
Yeah, and the A element came down there.
She'll have to keep up the pace a little bit and hope that, Four Faults is looking like it might get us in for Saturday. There again, that came up deep, didn't it? Looks like she's going to be able to bring him home. An unlucky rail there at that last jump. Well, 8 faults might be a little challenging to get in with. And I don't think she's going to like that time of 6.666. She might not go to the gambling table with that tonight.
No, I mean, the good thing, Margie does have another mount in tonight. She's got a new mare that she's going to show a little later. That's not like Royce. He doesn't usually have 2 down. I thought, especially once he had the first one down, he really was jumping a super round, and that was unfortunate she had the last jump down.
Here we have Christine Tribble-McCree riding Wannick WH, 12-year-old bay stallion, and it's a really beautiful horse, beautiful type. She just had a nice win in Tryon in a nice $25,000 class, but what a beautiful type horse.
Yeah, this is a horse she's had for several years now. I believe she bought him as a 6 or 7-year-old that brought him along to this level and has jumped plenty of big classes. Chris always has a great string of horses. Both she and her husband John have a nice string of horses right now. John was second just a few days ago in the $350,000 Grand Prix in Thermal, California.
And she's just keeping a nice gallop around, just kind of meeting everything on stride. Great roll back to fence 4, galloped up into 6, and that double to the oxer there. Well done in the 6, and taking it out, giving this Liverpool a little respect. And again, it just shows up deep off that turn for everybody.
Yeah, and I think, it's what we call a backwards Liverpool. The Liverpool's definitely set way on the backside of that jump, and I think the horses aren't really realizing it's set so far back.
That was unfortunate. She's had those last 2 verticals down. She had the plank down and then that skinny. So 8 faults for Christine tonight.
8 faults.
She has another ride, so she'll be happy that she got that round in. And we'll just see here the gallop to the skinny, and just looked like he just kind of went through it.
Yeah, it didn't finish behind. Maybe got there a little deeper than she would have thought, and it just didn't finish behind.
And here we have Hardin Towel again on Pepper Pot this time. 13-year-old gray gelding.
I think we're out of order. Actually, it looks
we are out of order.
Yeah, this is Jonathan, Chris's husband. I think Hardin went once already, so I think maybe John moved up in the order. This is Jonathan on Special Lux.
And this horse and Jonathan, they've had some nice finishes this year. The Smart Pack Grand Prix at Hits on the Hudson, the $100,000 Grand Prix at Split Rock. Looks like a nice type as well. He and Christine have a little bit different style. Both effective, both great riders. Great gallop into that double.
Yeah, John from Ireland, and just a couple of years ago changed nationality. Now he's riding for the U.S. And this is a top horse. He's got what I see. He's got his own style. He's got his own shape. Jumps a little bit inverted, but really knows how to miss the jumps. Even with his shape, very good behind. You can really run him at the jumps, as you saw right there.
Mm-hmm. And he's given that Liverpool a little bit of respect there. Jumped that very well. He's on a nice gallop, nice rhythm. Should have a good time. Stayed out. Jumped that well. And just our fourth clear.
Good run for Jumping McRae and Special Lux.
Jumped that very nice.
7.75 seconds, and that will put that into third.
You can see here, Jimmy, where you said he moved up nicely and just galloped right up to the jump out of that double. And a little bit his own style, like you say, but a great clear round.
Yeah, it's a very careful horse, always good behind, and a good horse having the jump off because you can really run him. As I said, he was second in the big class just a few days ago in Thermal.
And here we have Joost Verlooy on Sunshine and Chestnut Mare. Or Chestnut Gelding, my bad there. And as we know, Joost, winner of the LA Masters year before last on Domino, who we'll see coming up a little bit later. This is a nice horse. I watched this horse go a little bit at the LA Masters.
Yeah, this is a horse that was formerly ridden by Scott Brash, and now Joost has taken over. And as you said, he's had some great, he's quietly had some big wins. He won the Puissance just a couple weeks ago in Washington on this horse. And I have to say, he really, this horse suits him.
And I think for us here in the States, it's great to have some of these European riders over. Joost is a young European rider, up and coming, but a very good rider, very competitive.
And as I said, the horse was ridden by Scott Brash. That's a hard act to follow, but I have to say this horse has really gone well for him.
And there again, I think we see that however that Liverpool is set off that turn, it's getting a lot of riders. It's just dragging them right deep, right past the distance there a little bit. There he had to fight for it a little bit and got it done. It's good time. 1 down, 4 faults.
For Jumping Fault, 65.96 seconds. Wow, he was fast. With Verlooy and Sunshine.
Nice quick round. That should get him into Saturday.
That puts him into 8th place.
Yeah, I think he'll be safe. I think we have maybe a total of 60 going tonight in this class, and we're going to see 30 for Saturday night. But we do have some few riders are riding more than one in this class. So I think from what I heard, we have a total of 46 riders. So unfortunately, there are going to be a few that are going to get left out for Saturday night.
And that brings us to Audrey Coulter, and she is riding Joost's former ride, Domino. And this is a great up-and-coming team. They're a new team, and I was able to watch them go at LA Masters, and they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with. Audrey's a very good rider. She's, finishing up some of her college and things like that and getting back a little bit more full-time into the show jumping, but she's a very talented amateur rider, and this is a lovely horse.
Yeah, for sure. This is a top horse, great horse to have in your string. Joost had some great wins with it, and Audrey herself has had some big wins. A couple years ago in Palm Beach, she actually had back-to-back wins. We got rained out Saturday night. They moved the Grand Prix to Sunday, along with the meter 50 class. She won the meter 50 and the World Cup class, so she had a great day there in Palm Beach.
Keeping it pretty tidy there, back to 3. And I think, as some would say, this horse has a little bit his own technique as well, his own style, but he's very careful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've said that about a few horses, and this horse really has his own style. Not a classical way of jumping, jumps very upside down or very inverted, but it's a quality animal. This horse can jump the big classes, very careful.
And well suited for Audrey. She's a lady, and she's not a big heavy rider, and he's not a big heavy horse, and he seems to really like her, and she doesn't seem to mind his unusual style. She just rides nice, sits up there, holds his head, keeps her leg, and they are on a nice clear round until that last oxer. And that was a late rail.
Yeah, that was too bad. She almost took the last jump for granted, but that was a great round. That's a very light, almost a thoroughbred type horse. But again, that's good enough to get in for Saturday night.
Here we'll get to see it from another view, and she gets there, and just kind of looked like she was thinking about the finish line. And from one young up-and-coming rider to another, here we have Killian McGrath, and she is riding Baloo U, a bay gelding, 10 years old, and he's a very tall horse. I've watched Killian and he here in California getting some miles together. Killian, quite new to the Grand Prix ranks, had quite a bit of success in the young riders division, getting a lovely opportunity from Georgie Mastery Segsman, getting some rides and getting some great mileage in these bigger classes. And tonight with Baloo U, we'll see her have a great round, hopefully have some good experience.
Yeah, as you said, she was a contender in the junior ranks. Had some nice results in the equitation. Worked with Leslie Steele and Karen Healy.
And there you can just kind of see some of the youngness, some of the greenness in her ride. Just not keeping enough leg through the turn and keeping her horse on rhythm. And that horse threw a shoe there out of 3B, and we'll see if that affects him at all. But this footing is so good that it's not going to hurt him. That's for sure. Unfortunately, a little rub there behind. She's just a little slow and underpaced.
Yeah, she's almost kind of waiting to see what's going to happen instead of making it happen, in my opinion. But again, she is young. She has not had a lot of experience at this level. And just being a little passive, in my opinion.
And what a nice horse, though. He just kind of keeps...
I was just going to say, just a lovely animal, big scope. Looks like the rideability is nice. For sure, a horse you'd like to have to ride a big course like this. And as you said, maybe not keeping her leg on the horse, not keeping him together, but that'll come. You got to take your lumps and bumps. Bottom line, you come out of those junior ranks and the young rider division, everything just doesn't fall into place. You gotta earn your way to these big classes.
You gotta pay your dues. You gotta pay your dues.
That you do.
But, good experience. Hopefully Killian can go back and watch that on video and learn from that. And what a nice horse. Here we'll see just, how beautiful, he can jump at 2. He just, got there and she just gets a little soft, She just has to learn how to ride up to those bigger jumps and have a better corner, get that lead change, and she'll learn.
Yeah, I would say nothing about that was ugly. The horse maybe a little disunited here and there, needed to keep them more together, needed to be, she needed to go in there and fight for it a little more.
She'll learn. And here we have Kent back on his second ride, Blue Angel, 13-year-old bay mare, owned by a California lady, might I say, Miss Robin Parsky. And Kent gets along so well with this mare. They've had great rounds.
Yeah, long list of wins. He's won worldwide on this mare, East Coast, West Coast.
Spruce Meadows.
You name it, she's won classes there. Actually won the President's Cup, I believe last year, actually the year before, in Washington. Very, very fast jump off.
I would think maybe this being his second ride, we're going to, unfortunately, for that rail, but I was going to say, see him go for it a little bit, and then that rail came down. That was unfortunate. Mare looked like she just kind of got in a hurry there.
Yeah, and I think he was going to take a little cut on this one, but I think once she had to jump down, he just decided to go around. At that point, he knew he was out of it.
Well, and, you know, we got to think ahead about qualifying for Saturday, and you know, he had one down on his other horse, so he's got to make sure that the other one gets qualified. Again, deep. You know, that Liverpool is just set in an awkward place for everyone.
You know, I think it might be as optical looking to the riders as it is to the horses, because for sure they're all getting there fairly deep. And I got to say, when we walked it, I didn't notice it was set so far on the backside. So, you know, maybe they're just misjudging it a little bit.
Had a nice solid four-fault round there. Jumped that easy. We'll see where Kent ends up for Saturday.
Yeah, I think once Kent had the jump down, he knew he was out of it, and he thought just kind of jump around. I think he's probably going to show that horse in the other class on Saturday night, so no need to run her and get her flat, or he figured just hold it all together and give her a nice schooling round.
Hey, you can see there in the replay, she just jumped through that jump a little bit. Here we have Paul Rohrbach riding Camerino, and this is a young horse that Paul's been bringing along. Paul from Colorado. He has a very successful business there and trying to get himself some experience. I was talking with Paul earlier, and you know, this is an experience gathering show for him with this young horse. It's a scopy, interesting horse, but Paul doesn't have a lot of international experience, and I would consider this show an international show with all of our riders here, but Paul just trying to get a nice round out of this horse, get some experience at a little bit larger jumps than he might see in Colorado, and in the amongst the international riders that are here. This pretty big scopy horse. It's got a little green there, huh? Didn't quite cover that oxer.
Yeah, and I have to say, I thought Paul gave it a great ride. He knew the horse sort of jumped in, held off, and he gave a strong ride there and just didn't finish.
And that jump ended up staying up, so maybe that will be a good little reminder for that horse to learn a little bit from that rub, and there he just was too deep.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's got to take credit for that one. I thought he gave it a great ride. Looks like a good jumper, but I think at that point he knew he was clear, and he was trying to protect the clear. And you could see the look on his face. He wished he could have that one back. I think he probably would have been better off just galloping right down to the skinny. And
well, we can see that double. I mean, he tried, and he had a little lady luck on his in his side there. You can see that horse gave that a pretty good rub. Here we have Mateus Fernandez Cuevas back, and this time aboard Zandor, 11-year-old black stallion. Again, I probably am going to say that this is a newer ride for Mateus. He has a import buy-sell business up in Northern California with Dusty Blackwood, and this is probably a horse that they brought in to give a ride to Mateus and see what it is. Flashy with all those 4 white socks. that all right there.
Yeah, looks like a very useful horse.
That time he made a decision, he went out and made the 7 fit in there.
Yeah, he wasn't going to let that happen again.
Bit of a rub there at A and B. It's like a relatively straightforward horse. Maybe gets a little bit strong like we saw coming out of the corner there, but looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a pretty long shank palum on him. Oh, that was a shame. Had the plank down at the end of the ring.
Maybe just got a little strong. As you were noticing the bit, it looked like he started to get a little strong towards the end of the course.
Yeah, when he started and the wheels fell off a little bit, has the last 3 jumps down in a row. As he started, the horse started out the course riding really nicely, almost like an equitation horse. And for sure, by the end of the course, he was really building and maybe just getting away from him a bit.
Yeah, maybe something for the future. We'll see Mateus go home, do his homework over the winter, and see what he comes out with next season. You can see he just got a little flat to that plank, as you can see there in the replay. We have a lovely young rider coming on course now, Casey Ament, riding Arthos R, a 10-year-old bay stallion. And Casey, again, one of the West Coast premier equitation riders as a junior, up through the equitation hunters, into the junior jumpers, and now up into the Grand Prix, a product of our background in the equitation, and hugely successful with Karen Healy as a junior. And again, like you said, like about Lucy, that nice, soft but effective way of riding.
And Casey's got some nice horses to ride. I don't get to see her a lot out west here, except the classes that I watch on live feed, but for sure she's got a nice group of horses to ride.
And that's the name of the game. You have to have the horses, you have to get in the ring, you have to get the experience. And that was a lovely ride, that first part of the course there. This looks like quite a nice horse himself. Casey staying on a good gallop. She's not, she's not being overprotective. She's staying on a nice gallop. Squared that up. That was too bad. Maybe just took a little too much of a gamble there.
Yeah, I thought she set it up well. Maybe rode a little too strong off the ground. That's what, unfortunately, you do have the Liverpool in the backside that the horses tend to spook at a little bit. But then again, it is on the backside of the jump, and it's a very careful jump. And that's no mistake. I think Olaf has it set there for a reason. And the last jump comes down as well, so she ends on the 8. But I have to say, I like that horse.
Yeah, good, solid ride. And again, Casey building for the future. It looks like a lovely horse. Just a little deep on that replay, and just, shifted to the right a little bit, maybe taking a peek at that Liverpool. Jenny Martin McAllister is next, riding Here I Come, an 11-year-old bay gelding. Jenny and this horse jump quite a few clear rounds. He's not the fastest of the horses out there, but she does jump a lot of solid clear rounds, and that might be all it takes tonight to get into Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. He's not the fastest horse, but Jenny is a great rider. She's always been a top rider, and he's a slower going horse, but she gets plenty of clear rounds out of him.
Jenny last competed in the World Cup finals in 2014. So she definitely has enough international competition, and so she'll be a good, solid ride for this younger horse that she's been bringing along. She almost looked like she put a little more of a bow in that 5 than most everybody else.
Yeah, he's got a huge stride, but then he's got such a slow way of going. So, big, scopy horse.
A little bit of a rub on the oxer there, but she managed that inside turn, got a good rub there. She'll do a lot of work around that turn to get that done. See here to Liverpool, and again just a little dead and deep.
Yeah, you know, that's tough. Again, as I said, he's kind of a slow going horse, and I thought Jenny did the right thing there. She tried to create some horses. She left the ground, and he missed it in front, but just didn't finish with the hind end.
You can see him there cantering through the turn. He's just having a bit of a hard time getting that hind end to be quick and powerful.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, his stride is so big, he eats up all the lines. There's really no room for her to ride up to the jumps. I think when she has to shorten the stride, it gets a little bit uncomfortable for him, and that just gets a little difficult.
Well, 4 faults. She could make it in though for Saturday. And we have Eduardo Menendez on Quintal. This was his mount at Spruce Meadows for the winning Nations Cup team, the Brazilian team. They were a bit of a surprise, I think, up there this fall.
Yeah, what they did there was tremendous. The Brazilian team going there to Spruce Meadows, first time they've ridden there in the Nations Cup, and they won it. At a great team. It was a huge day for Brazil. Eduardo, a top rider, one of the nicest guys on the circuit, and this is the horse he's had now for a couple of years. He's been bringing it along, so he knows it well.
And it's taken him a little time to develop it and get it consistent. I don't think it's always the easiest to ride. A little attitude there.
Yeah, it gives a little buck there.
But that's okay. A little attitude can be good sometimes as well. But it's certainly capable of jumping around this track.
Yeah, this is a good jump for this horse. I've actually, although Eduardo and I don't really do the same circuits a lot, I've seen a lot of this horse. The horse looks very, very good tonight, jumping a great round. I would say the smallest little negative I'll say about this horse is when he usually has a rail, it's because the horse shifts right. I think that's the only thing he needs to be aware of a little bit. The horse is a little bit of a right drift off the ground, and that's about the only time I see him have a rail down.
And it looks like, to me, he's going for it a little bit more than we've seen some riders. He's got a bit more of a gallop. He took a little more of an angle on that.
That's the first one we've seen do 6 strides there.
And he's Eduardo's going for the win a little bit more, I think, than just the careful. Made quite a tight inside turn there. And he did it. He motored right around.
Yeah, he was very, very fast. That was a great round. Great ride. The horse really responded. It was sharp everywhere. Really never let down. That was a great round.
Eduardo, he's quite a tall rider, but he's one of the smoothest riders out there. There was that right drift that possibly could have caught him, and he held him really straight at that plank in the replay there, and just kept a good gallop down to that vertical and sliced right across it and brought it home clean. That was a great round. Well, we saw Nicole Honnert earlier in the class, and she's back this time aboard Churchill. And even though Churchill's 12, he's still relatively inexperienced. I've watched her with this horse over the last couple years, bringing it along. It's a real tall, kind of lanky horse. He's got a good jump. He's a little special in the warm-up, as some would say. He's a little bit afraid of some of the other horses, so sometimes that's a little challenging, but it's an interesting young horse that Nicole's been bringing along.
Joey, I'm not sure. What is that? It's got something, looks like an extra big belly pad maybe.
It's like an extended belly girth, exactly, Jimmy. I don't know if that's a good thing, if he reaches back and hits his belly back there, but yeah, they had that specially made, and it just extends about 6 inches or so further than some of the other regular belly girths that you or I might use. She's just kicked through that oxer maybe a little bit, got in and just gave him a little bit too much there. Came back and jumped that oxer nice, but I think for both of them, this is one of the biggest classes they've done, and for sure in tours. And he took a pretty good look there at that Liverpool, and Nicole did a good job of getting him up and over that. And just too deep there to the plank, again, just maybe a little greenness and a little bit of experience. And the last rail down, unfortunately.
And as you say, the horse is 12 years old, but maybe just a little inexperienced, might have had a late start. And, but look, she looks very happy, had 2 nice rounds here, start to finish. And, she's just going to get better from it. Not only jumping a big track, but as I've said a couple times, coming in this tight indoor ring and jumping a big track, it's different than, say Thermal or one of those big arenas outside.
Definitely. All good experience.
So it looks like we're going to take a little drag break here.
Freshen up the footing. Well, there we go.
Here we see we got Eduardo Menezes on top, 62.01. Richard Spooner also clear, 67.43. Christian Heineken, 69.61. Jonathan McRae, 70.75. And our other clear round, Lucy Davis in 76.25. We still got a long way to go. We're halfway through. Right now we're only looking at 5 clear rounds.
And then the 4 falters they're finishing through about 16th, 15th place. And then we have 8 falters to 23rd. And then moving on down from there, we still got a pretty wide open field for that top 30 for Saturday, it looks like.
Well, we're going to take a little drag break, as we said, and we'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Right at the halfway mark of the $35,000 Las Vegas FEI Welcome Speed Classic. And in the lead, Brazil with the Longines and Tito. Start back up with the rider from the USA, Alec Lawler of horse number 178. And then
And we're back underway here. We have Alec Lawler next. Alec's one of the younger riders again. Also gained some valuable experience back during the World Cup finals. He showed in the national division there at the Thomas and Mack Center.
One of our young up-and-coming riders. I think Alec has branched out a little bit and maybe trying a little hand at being a professional. Finished his college schooling, and he and this horse have been a partnership for a while now, and he really gets a lot out of Armageddon. He's had some great rounds on him. Very good there in that line.
Yeah, like I said, I watched this horse during the World Cup finals, and good jumper.
Nice ride into that double and up to that oxer. And Alec, even though he's a younger mileage rider, he's had some, like you said, some valuable mileage. There's that Liverpool again.
And then the plank comes down as well at the end of the ring.
Well, that was too bad. 8 faults there, Alec. A solid, good young rider, and put that one under your cap for a good, experienced round. We'll see here on the replay to the Liverpool again, just a little deep and a little added. It's almost like everybody's overriding it just a touch, and then very, very good in the 7 to the oxer, but. I would say that Liverpool's the one that's come down the most, Jimmy.
Yeah, for sure that's the most difficult jump tonight. I was just talking during the break. I talked to Harden for a minute, and he kind of said the same thing I said. He thought that the Liverpool's really set on the back side of that, and he felt like when he made the turn to it, his horse maybe looked through those rails and peeked down at it, and that's why he had it down. But it's just showing up much deeper than you would like to get there.
And maybe those gray rails, just a little bit of an optical illusion. And we have Valinsky S. and Matt Williams on course now, 13-year-old Bay Gelding. And Matt, a lovely rider, great experience, has shown at some of the biggest places in the world. 2012 Olympics, London, Hong Kong. I'd say that's a nice resume.
Yeah, Matt's been everywhere, been to all the big dances, Olympic Games more than once on several different horses. This is a fairly new mount to him. This is a horse that was formerly ridden by Michael Dorman, and this winter Ben Mayer took over the ride. Lauren Huff had a ride on this horse. A horse had a couple different riders over the last few years. Very, very careful horse. And Matt, he's already had some great success with this horse.
A little bit of a rub there coming into the double, but might have been just enough to sharpen him up, and Matt's just kind of keeping on a good gallop. That worked out well for him. Squared up there, got that jump there.
Oh, he got stuck there in 8 strides, I believe. I wasn't counting, but the way he got there, it just seemed like it was 8.
Yeah. That's really proved to be the hardest part of the course, is just getting that Liverpool jumped, and if you get that Liverpool jumped, staying on a nice track to that Oxer. Matt should be good for Saturday though, finishing up on a 4.
Yeah, I think for sure that'll get in. Horse jumped a nice round. Again, we all... I think he just lost the track there. He went very wide to the Liverpool, jumped it very straight, then put him on the way outside track, and then he got stuck in the 8 strides there.
Yeah.
I think once he got to about the 6th stride, he realized, he was not really where he wanted to be, and he had to sort of fight and make the 8 work, but it was just too late.
Yeah, and that head-on that replay was awesome. You could see that he was getting really deep, and just that little bit of a right shift, and just... The horse got a little late in front, and result is 4 faults. So here we have trotting into the ring Barla and Hannah Selleck, 11-year-old bay mare. And Hannah's been patient in bringing this mare along. She's got a little bit of her own style of jumping. The front end's a little bit special. And she wants to be a careful, good jumper. And Hannah's just been patient and putting some nice miles on. Had some nice miles at the indoor venue at the LA Masters in October. And Hannah knows the mare quite well. And they've been in this venue before, so hopefully a year of experience will pay off.
Yeah, as you said, she's been bringing her along. Hannah's been working with Alon Furter the last few years. I think Alon's done a great job with her, really has her confident, has her riding well, got her a couple of really nice horses, and, stepped right up to the big leagues on this horse.
And the mare's just, she's starting to learn to jump within herself and started trying to jump so high over the jumps. That's what I thought about, the mare at the beginning would just try to jump so high because she doesn't bend her front legs so much sometimes. And now the mare's starting to kind of bend her legs a little bit, use her shoulder a little more so she doesn't have to jump quite so high in the air. And it's a good program and it's working, and they're starting to be pretty solid.
Yeah, I know. Talking with Alon the other day, he really, really believes in this horse, really thinks it's got a bright future. Says it's a real scopy horse. Can jump some big tracks. I know Alon himself spends a lot of time on this horse, setting it up for Hannah. And that's very valuable. It's great to have someone like that to set the horse up.
Well, we could kind of see there through the corner, the mare got strong with Hannah and kind of drug her right through that vertical, unfortunately. And she'll end up with a fault.
The young rider there, Hannah Selleck over Barla, 8 jumping fault, 72.60 seconds.
She might catch the tail end. We'll have to see. Here you can see the turn. The mare she got a little wide and just touched that down behind, Maybe just got pulling her a little bit, just a little late behind there. We have Mark Rock trotting in the ring now on Little Goncho. And this is an 11-year-old chestnut gelding. I know this is a new ride for Mark. A very nice horse. I believe came from your direction back on the East Coast. Mark's just starting to get to know this horse. This will for sure be one of the biggest type of courses and venues that Mark's jumped this horse in. And Mark went earlier in the other class. Didn't have a great evening, unfortunately. but hopefully this will be a little bit better outing for him. It's kind of an interesting big scopy horse though.
Kind of lost its front end at the first jump, but then fence number 2 was better.
Mark gave it a nice ride there. On the bigger side, this horse, maybe not the quickest going, a little bit on the bigger side, but Mark gave it a nice ride there. Rode that line well. Coming around the corner to that double, and Mark got him set up real nice. Rub there. Maybe a little on the cold side here and there.
Yeah, the horse looks a little cold, a little stuck to the ground, but Mark giving a very strong ride. He was a little, as you say, he was a little indecisive earlier and didn't have a great round, but looks like he came back and really giving the horse a good ride today.
That was well done. Managed that Liverpool turn very well, rode a really nice 6, and see if he can finish it up there.
Oh, he got stuck in 8 strides, but comes home with a clear.
Good for Mark, well done. Not the fastest, but a clear, and that will for sure get him into Saturday. He's happy about that. We can see here the turn to the Longines. Mark working hard, keeping a good gallop, and really jumped that well. Right back on the job afterwards. Then we have Christine Tribble-McCree back, and this time she's riding Win for Life, a 9-year-old gelding, and typey little horse.
Yeah, this is a horse I'm really fond of. I've followed this horse since he was 6 years old, and I really like. He's a very, very scopy horse, good technique. I've always been very, very high on this horse.
Another one that she's brought up the ranks herself, from a 6-year-old. Jump that nice. Really, it really is a good jump. A really good behind. Jumps easy. Christine going around. I believe she had 8 faults on her first horse, so.
Yeah, Wanique had a couple down, so I think she's just trying to jump a clear round and be safe here. That was a shame.
Just kind of went right through that a little bit and just got a little bit flat behind, I think. Let's see how we get to the Liverpool here, since this has been the. He jumped that beautiful. It looks like a lovely ride. And that plank came down as well. So it's going to be a... kind of drug her right through that jump. Well, unfortunately for Christine, 12 faults tonight with Win for Life, but what a lovely horse.
Yeah, and unfortunately, 8 on 1 and 12 on 1. She might be on the bubble, but again, there are a lot of double rides, so maybe in the end it won't be an issue. My guess is she's probably thinking Wanique for the big class Saturday night, so hopefully we'll see her in that.
Harley Brown trotting in on course now on Apex, 11-year-old bay gelding. This is a newer ride for Harley. He had a great horse, a Cassiata, the big gray gelding that he had a lot of success with. And now here, Apex, a younger horse that Harley's bringing along. Harley brings another little bit of flavor to the countries, being being from Australia. So we have a big group of world riders here. Looks like Harley's going to pick it up and go for it a little bit. Thought about the inside turn, I think, and changed his mind.
It looked like he saw it, and then he decided to just go around. Again, this being a qualifier for the World Cup class, it is $35,000, which is enough money, but come Saturday night, you got a couple things at stake. You've got World Cup points, and you've got $100,000. So that was too bad. He was late overriding the 6 there and just, sort of pushed into the front rail there.
That horse just didn't even turn over behind there at that Liverpool. Looked like he just got a little green and looked down, looked behind it, and 4 faults there at the Liverpool. The joker jump of the evening. Good mileage, good solid round for this horse so far, though. A little bit of a rub there at that vertical. Well, coming home with 8 might not make Saturday, but like you say, Jimmy, some double rides and things like that might sneak in there. Here we can see there at the replay that he got pretty good little rub there on that Oxer. Jill Humphrey and Ramina next on course. A big brown 14-year-old mare. I've got to watch this horse a little bit last week when I was up at the Paso Robles Horse Park for a week of showing there, and it's an interesting horse. She certainly has a lot of scope and ability. She gets a little hot, sometimes. So just be if Jill is able to manage her a little bit and keep her settled in the right places.
Yeah, for sure. It came in the ring. Looks like a very, very spicy horse. A lot of blood, and for sure I would call her hot.
I know it's a relatively new ride for Jill. I know her sister Jan is the one that found the horse and handed the reins over to her sister, which was very nice of her. It just looks a little bit fresh, a little hot, a little out the jumps there.
Yeah, jumping these big classes, I think we all as riders tend to think we need a spur. And watching this horse go, and I know I discussed this a lot with McLean, my first thought is pull the spur. It looks like it's a little bit of a horse that you just want to sit very chilly on. It doesn't look like it needs much of a spur. So I know McLean's a big believer in that. Even his superstar mare Sapphire, he went in a lot of the biggest classes in the world without a spur. People thought she was a big, cold horse, but Sapphire actually was a very bloody horse. And I know that was he had that discussion a few times with a couple different people. They insisted he wear a spur, and he went in the biggest classes without one.
Again, I think that's knowing your horse, and I think this is a new horse, and maybe she'll watch that video and see maybe something like that. You have to get to know your horses and figure out what works for each of them individually. But that's some good information for her there.
Yeah, and I know, for sure, you ride, I ride. When you go in these big classes, you're jumping big jumps. You like to have that reassurance of the spur, but you just, there you saw the horse was at the B element, and sometimes you got to, as you said, go in these classes, get to know them, and you know what, maybe I don't need the spur for now on.
We have Carl Cook and Tembla coming up next, and Tembla is 14-year-old chestnut mare, and I've gotten to watch this mare over the last few years develop. Originally, she came from Michelle Rodell. Michelle had her as a young horse, and you can always tell this mare had all the jump in the world. spicy chestnut mare, so you knew that was always going to be a little bit of a challenge if you could get her to kind of settle and focus. And yeah, Carl, I think, has had her now a couple years, and they're starting to click. I know that they've had some very good rounds together. They've had some good placings, second in the $50,000 Sunshine Series Grand Prix, second in the Grand Prix of the Pacific. So they're starting to gel a little bit.
Yeah, Carl's had some good results with this mare, and oddly enough, Carl's a taller, stronger rider. Michelle, very small, very light and petite, and it seems to work for both of them. I also knew this mare as a very young horse when Michelle was on the East Coast, and was very fond of her back then. But again, Michelle being very small, very light, the horse used to just explode over the jumps with her. And I know at the time she was thinking this was a horse for the future, but it's hard. You have these horses, someone's interested, it's hard to turn down the money.
Well, and it is a big mare. You can't tell how big she is because Carl's quite a tall guy, and like you said, Michelle's a little girl and Carl's a tall guy, but she's a big mare and she's a strong mare, and that used to be a little bit the challenge for Michelle. She'd get so strong with her, and Carl's a guy and just a little bit stronger, and you can see he's got quite a different setup. He's got the Berdoon snaffle, but he's got quite a long shank hackamore on her to kind of manage her but keep her happy at the same time. So like we spoke before a little bit, horse rider combinations are important. You have to find the right match. You can see Carl really working there to get her to wait. 8-fault night for Carl and Tembla tonight. We'll see if that makes it for Saturday. Here we can see the double. He kind of jumped in all right, and he just really gave her a big push with his shoulders there.
Yeah, and here again, strong ride to the auction. We were about to see the replay. And as you said, even with that setup, still looked like the rideability was an issue. He was just losing control as the round went.
And we have a rider from Israel here, Simon Nizari, riding E. Muz Yik. And this is a nice little horse, gray gelding, 11 years old. He and Simon have been a partnership here for a little bit. Simon won the $50,000 Grand Prix at Blenheim Spring Classic, and they're a pretty competitive team here.
Yeah, this has been a good horse for Simon. This horse originally was ridden by Nick Delajoyo, and then the ride was given to Derek Cairns, and he had some great success with this horse before Simon came east and bought it. And again, another horse we talk about with its own style, has its own shape, but wants to leave the jumps up.
And Simon, he adapts well to ones that have kind of their own shape. He's had a few different types of horses over the years of watching him out here on the West Coast, and he adapts well.
In the end, that's the name of the game. They have to want to leave the jumps up. We can all train and we can do gymnastics and all kinds of things. A horse's natural jumping style is his style. We can improve him a little bit, but this horse is just going to jump this way.
And a happy horse, you let him kind of do it his way, and he stays happy, and he'll get some nice clear rounds for you. Here's Simon getting squared up to the Liverpool and quite deep, but he let the horse kind of have his way, and he jumped it clean. He's had a couple of rubs along the way. Yeah. Has a pretty good rub there behind that plank, comes down. Just got quite flat, it looked like. He fights with him there a little bit. Simon's going to bring it home with 4. Solid round. Should make it in for Saturday with a 4, but we're getting a stack of 4s now.
Yeah,
now the time's going to become an issue.
I think probably the 4 falters will all get in. Again, we're talking about multiple rides, so I think the 4 falters will probably get in. Here we see the replay at the end of the ring. Really hooked it behind there.
This guy got flat, drug its hind legs there, and 4 faults. Jamie Barge is back in this class now this evening on Lubo. This is a younger horse that she's been bringing along. He's 10 now. Lubo is, again, kind of like the white horse that just went. He's got a little bit his own style. Jamie's a very petite little rider, and this is a petite horse. They're quite a good match, and it's got just, you know, little springs in its legs, and if they can get in a nice rhythm and a nice groove, they could very easily jump this course clean. Jamie's had a very successful year with this horse this year, getting some real top prizes, a winner at a couple of the tournaments at Blenheim at Show Park, and she knows this horse very well, so she should have a good plan for tonight.
Yeah, I believe that's the first one we've seen do 6 up the first line. The 5 is just sort of right on the money. But as you said, she knows the horse, and maybe adding, especially early on, suits this horse better. Looks actually like a very careful horse.
It is a very careful. You would almost think it's a mare because it's so refined, like in the face, but it's a little gelding, and he's just a little springy thing, and you can see they really match each other quite well. Here comes the Liverpool, just too deep again, and that's just been a real. That's like playing blackjack and busting every time.
Yeah, I almost think sometimes you can almost be too careful. I think that is a careful jump, and you want to respect it, but I think they're almost trying to be too careful. They're adding up, and then just ending up so deep to it. I think you almost need to let the horse come through the turn and then set it up.
It's almost like, you know, sometimes when we watch too much, we change our mind, we change our plan too much because we watch too many others, and I think we sometimes just have to go in the ring and remember to ride our own ride. You know, you make a plan, and here you can see she just got too deep, maybe a little past the center point of the jump, but you know, again, you can watch too many, you can overanalyze, you can make it too complicated sometimes, and maybe a little bit that might be what's happening with that turn to that Liverpool. Jonathan McCree back, this time on Aristoles, 10-year-old bay gelding. Beautiful horse. All their horses are beautiful.
Yeah, they've got some great horses. This, I believe, is a stallion, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be.
It says gelding here, but I believe this horse is still a stallion. This horse originally purchased for Chris McRae, and they do that a lot. They sort of mix and match. They switch around a little bit. Chris started early with this horse, then John took over the ride, and it's been a great combination.
Like we talked before, a horse-rider combination, you know, that's the key to most of the most successful partnerships. Rich Feller's Flexible, Sapphire McLean, Boyer and Kent, you know, horse-rider combinations. It's a jumper, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the horse is very, very springy.
A little hard to ride still, maybe a little strong. It looks like it can get it here and there.
Yeah, I think John, you know, the horse, I would say he's not young anymore, but I think John still needs to hold his hand now and then.
Stallion. I find stallions can be a little bit that way.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's one of those horses you got to be there and be firm, but you know, you don't want to make him mad. That's what they say about stallions.
Here he's going very wide. And he just kind of rode nice and rode around that corner and got that Liverpool jump well, got that 7 strides to the oxer. This horse is looking very nice. And he just rolled that rail at that vertical, just got there, got a little flat, and that just literally rolled. That puts him 19th, so, and a time fault, so.
Yeah, and he already had one horse. He has one clear run already, so he's qualified for Saturday night.
And that was a case, like you said, of the multiples. Here you can see that vertical. He gets there. It looks like it's nice. Horse jumps it great and just rolls across the top rail, and that came down. That was too bad. Nice horse. And we get to see Casey Ament again on I'll Be Frank. This is an 8-year-old bay gelding, and 8 on the younger side, obviously getting some miles. But good for Casey, having a couple in this top-notch competition and getting some invaluable mileage on some nice horses.
Yeah, I have to say, I watched her ride a horse earlier in the 140 class, and now these two horses. I mean, as I said earlier, she's got a nice group of horses. She does a good job, good rider. I think that the coming up through the equitation ranks was great for her, and she does a great job.
This looks like a nice horse, something to get some nice experience on. Very straightforward. Casey does a nice job with her flat work, getting her horses fit and rideable, and kind of looks like a big USET round right now.
Yeah, it sure does.
And she might be flirting with the time a little bit, and I just kind of stepped through that double a little bit. And not that the time totally matters in this, but I don't want to be too slow. Taking a nice wide turn here to the Liverpool.
Has a rub, but it stays up. I think this horse probably, being 8 years old, and he looks like a little bit of a slow horse, I think she's trying to stay within his comfort zone. He's probably not ready to go any faster than this, just moving up to this level. So I think she's just really trying to give this horse some experience at this level.
And finishing with 8. And she did have a couple of time faults, but a good solid round. Like you've said a few times, Jimmy. Here you can see the double jumps in nice and just kind of steps into the B. Learning experience, like you said a few times. A lot of these riders, younger riders, are getting some mileage, and some of the younger horses are getting some mileage.
Whoa. Oh, we have Peter Lutzen here, and I think the horse just saw the big screen and just being a little spooky.
Well, it looks like he's got him turned back around here. This is Robin de Ponthual. And must be a new horse for Peter. I haven't seen this one go much.
Yeah, this is a horse he's actually had for a little while. This is a horse that came from McLean Ward. Peter showed it all last year, sort of, and in some smaller classes, but has really stepped up, and over the last, I would say 3 or 4 months, has jumped some super rounds. He's had some great results. Central Park, really everywhere he's been, this horse has been jumping some great rounds. Okay, unfortunately, he came in this ring, and obviously he looked a little bit undone. So hopefully, now he's paying a little more attention. Seems to be jumping a great round.
And Peter, just smooth and soft and strong at the same time. He's always been a beautiful rider, and it's nice to see him on a nice horse and back out here.
Yeah, I think this is a horse with a future. It's a big jumper, good behind. I've always liked this horse. I actually saw videos of the horse when McLean first purchased it over in Europe. I watched it show there, and really the minute it landed here, McLean was busy and he was showing a lot and in Europe, and sort of gave the horse to Peter to bring along and give the horse some mileage. And as it turned out, Peter ended up getting the horse, someone to buy the horse for himself. So it's a great combination.
Yeah, well, I would buy it too. lovely clear round, and what a great future for Peter. What a lovely horse. That'd be fun to watch him jump the big jumps on Saturday. And he's still a little bit having a good time with the screen out there. He's having a good time with something. Here we can see the replay of that beautiful turn to the Longines jump. And that horse just effortless.
Way up over that oxer.
Beautiful. What a horse. We have Paris Sellon on course with a dare, a 10-year-old bay mare. And Paris originally out here from the California area, and has been getting some nice experience on the East Coast and over in Europe the last few years. Again, came from a good solid equitation hunter, junior jumper background with Meadow Grove and Susie Schroer, Dick Carvin. Good solid foundation and some experience with Laura Kraut, and now back out here for Las Vegas. And you'll have to tell me a little bit about a dare. I haven't seen Paris on this horse much.
Yeah, this is a horse she's had for a little while. She's been working with Lauren Huff over the last year or so. Super round in the 350 last week in Thermal. Great results. Lauren this week is in Doha, so she can't be here to help Paris, but really they've been all over Europe. She's been at the GCT shows, and this is a great match for her.
Looks like a lovely horse to ride, just kind of gallop and jump, knows her job. And Paris has always been one of those softer riders. She likes to ride with soft hand, and and the mare just looks like she loves her.
Well, that was too bad. Whoa.
A little bit on the long side there. She handled it and finished up with just 4.
Yeah, but what a good mare. I mean, she was definitely too long at the second to last jump. Didn't phase her at all. Cantered down to the last jump, and really didn't hold her against it.
And I think, Paris being an amateur, probably, school and working and stuff like that, doesn't get to practice as much as some others, and that mare was just a really good partner for her there. Christian Heineken in the ring aboard Ahe Clooney, and this is an 11-year-old bay gelding, and he's shown him there a couple jumps, maybe a little bit on the spookier side. Looks like he could be a little bit on the strong side too. He's got a rope noseband there and a drop noseband, but Christian, being a strong German rider, probably will be able to manage him. Looks like he just studies the jumps a little bit.
Yeah, a little backed off up the first line. Because, as we've said a few times, the 5 is sort of right on the money. Definitely had to ride up a little strong at the end.
That was a good ride around that turn.
Yeah, Christian, a very strong rider.
See him give him some little leg there around the turn. This horse, it really kind of sizes up the jumps and really studies them, and Christian just has to stay there with his leg the whole time. He's doing what you said and not being over careful and over analyzing.
I think he maybe rode the Liverpool better than anybody. I think they've just been over protecting it, and he just kind of came through the turn, kept cantering through the turn, and then set him up.
And he's going for it here a little bit. He kind of gradually picked the pace up, and he's going to end up right around that second spot or so.
Yeah, that was a great round.
Nice clear round. We'll get to see him on Saturday. And here you can see, here is the turn to the Liverpool, and he's just not going to overanalyze it, and he just kept on the gallop, and he found the best distance all evening to that. And then that 7 just, put a little shape in that, and that worked out very well. Lauren Crooks is in the ring aboard SF Urati, 14-year-old gray mare, and I just love this horse. I mean, I just wonder what it feels like to just gallop down to like a big old oxer and give it a little leg and jump. This mare just flies. I've just watched her over the years, and she just looks like she would be so fun to ride.
Yeah, a fairly new mount for Lauren, but this horse has been in the family, jumped big classes everywhere, Spruce Meadows, and Palm Beach. Looks like a nice horse to ride over some big horses.
And she's a big mare. And, Lauren's, she's a little thing, but she sits right up there and stays right in the middle of her, keeps a good leg on her, and just looks like it could jump anything. Good turn there. She really stayed right on it. Her tail's kind of like a propeller. Kind of keeps her going there through the turns.
I think Lauren's so little. I think this horse thinks it's free jumping.
Flew over that, didn't it?
I mean, so far it's jumping the round of the class.
Let's see here. Keep riding. Let's see. Oh, she almost overanalyzed it.
Here's 6 to the oxer. Almost got there too early.
Huge step on this mare. Oh, that was too bad. Oh, that was a disappointment. Just stepped into that a little bit. But what a great solid round. I mean, Lauren hasn't been riding the mare all that long, and she went in there and just really with a plan, and that was great. That was a great round. She'll make it back for Saturday. That'd be a lot of fun. Here we can see that plank. The mare just kind of got there and just dropped a toe on it.
Yeah, just put a toe. I mean, light rub, good ride. It maybe left her a little too much room, but that was a beautiful round.
We have Margie Goldstein-Ingle back in the ring on Abu Nola, 10-year-old bay mare. This must be her new one, Jimmy.
Yeah, this is a brand new mount. She just bought this horse during the Hampton Classic, but a horse with a lot of mileage, a lot of experience. It jumped the Pan Am Games for Argentina. So for sure, not an inexperienced horse, and actually seems to really suit Margie so far. She, I believe, had a win on this horse last week in Thermal and had some nice rounds on it.
Yeah, she did. She won that $65,000 Sunshine Classic. She won the $50,000 Hits Welcome Stake. She had a good week last week with this mare. Margie, she's been everywhere and done everything. A world of experience there, and a little lady, but a tough little lady too. Mare jumps nice. Great gallop. And Margie looks like she might be going for it just a touch now on this one. Royce jumped around okay with 8 faults, but looks like Margie's, maybe she wants a piece of that $35,000.
Yeah, she's taking a shot on this one.
She needs a little poker money. Well, there you can see experience. She was getting a little deep, but she just pulled and kicked and made it work out. Let's see what she's going to do here. She's just going to turn. Worked out for her. She got a little deep, but that mare is nice. Careful.
Yeah, this is a really, really cute horse.
Got a little quick there again.
Yeah, maybe got on the inside track, and the mare just sort of leaned in, leaving the ground there.
Maybe anticipating the turn a touch.
Yeah.
Well, Margie ends up with 4.
We're jumping ball 67.35 seconds. That rider for the USA, Margie Angle, and Abu Nola.
Put her in the middle of the pack, but I think it's Royce's score that counts. Here we'll see the different angle of that red one. And just kind of galloped down there and just kind of stayed going at it. Never really kind of slowed down and set up. Here's Olivia Brown and Cash. Olivia from Australia. And Cash, a 9-year-old gray gelding that she's been bringing along now for the last couple of years. She's done she's done all of the work on this horse. She's married to Harley Brown. They have a business up in Northern California together, and this has been her project. And I believe you got to see this one jump last week at the Sunshine Series and do a couple of the bigger classes and get a couple of good ribbons. So up and coming horse with an up and coming rider who's been developing the horse. So this is kind of a neat thing. Got a little bit of his own style there with the front legs out in front of him, a little bit like Superman style, but I think that's just kind of him.
Yeah, a little sticky off the ground. Looks a little sticky and a little slappy as leaves the ground.
Could maybe be a little bit of his greenness and inexperience in this sort of situation, and maybe hers too. It was good there. She gave him a kick though. She's tough. She's not giving up. There, I think he just got a little green. I think a little bit of our newness to this division is showing up a little bit.
Yeah, it's not as smooth as some of the other rounds. There's too many changes of pace and just not fluid enough. Sometimes when you start to interrupt the canter, it just gets a little too difficult for the horse.
Well, she can chalk it up to some experience, and next time in the ring, hopefully use some of that experience she gained tonight. Here we can see, she got to the oxer quite good, and he just didn't have enough room to finish with the hind end there.
Yeah, it just didn't finish behind.
Well, this has to be one of the favorites of the class. Rich Fellers on Flexible. And as we all know, Flexible's a little up there in the years. He's 19 this year, but he looks incredible. Rich, they get this horse out twice a day. They keep him fit. They keep him moving around, and what a great program to keep a horse going till 19 years old, jumping these big jumps.
I agree. I was out in the schooling area earlier, and I was watching this horse flat around, and I just couldn't believe how good he looked. He still trots great. Looks really happy to be doing this.
And I think this is one of those cases of just an incredible horse-rider combination. I'm not so sure that there's many other riders that could ride Flexible and get the results that Rich has gotten. The horse has a very unique way of going. It's fussy with its face. Its stride is, it's a big stride, but it's kind of a choppy stride at the same time, and he does funky things now and again like that, the little catranter, and it never phases Rich, and Rich just believes in this horse, and this horse believes in Rich, and they do things like that.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think Rich really, really believes in the horse, and then the horse, in turn, really trusts him.
And that was unfortunate. You could hear the crowd, too.
Unfortunate, and not something you see very often at this height, which, really for this horse, this is not a big class. You rarely see this horse have a jump down. Yeah,
and smokes the time, He's got 2 seconds on the time, and he just loving every moment of it. You can see Flexible. He's just happy and ears up, and you can see here we have another view of that, and just rubbed it with the front toes.
Yeah, I will say that is a very, very delicate plank. It's very little. It doesn't weigh anything on shallow cup, so it's an easy jump to come down.
Agreed, definitely. Here we have Eduardo Menendez back again, and this time aboard Catalina. And this is an 8-year-old bay mare. This is for sure a new ride for Eduardo, one I haven't seen him on much. She's in good hands with Eduardo having as much experience as he has. He's already gone once. He's leading the class, so there's no pressure on this horse at all. no pressure on Eduardo. Just he can have a nice gallop and give this horse some experience. And he's got kind of a hackamore snaffle set up as well. We've seen a couple of those tonight, Jimmy.
Yeah, a lot that seems to work well on a lot of horses. I think the nose pressure with some horses helps the shape, and Eduardo obviously very comfortable with that setup.
Looks like this little mare has a bit of her own motor and maybe can get a little bit strong. Eduardo's tall and strong and quietly manages her. And he's making a good turn to that Liverpool. A little deep. It looked like she was just fussing with him a little bit.
Actually looks like quite a nice mare. Good type, plenty of blood, and looks very careful.
Maybe just a little bit of rideability work, and he has a nice horse for the future there.
Quick time 64.86 seconds. Eduardo and Carolina for jumping fault in that time. Well, let's put that into 11.
That was a nice solid round for that mare. Here we'll see on the replay, you can see Eduardo working right there in the corner to hold her a little bit, and she just got a little strong with him right off the ground there.
Yeah, he ended up there pretty deep.
Here we have Peter Pagenik back on course with Uppercut Cabanals.
Second round for Peter Pagenik from Austria.
An Austrian rider, so we've got that flavor of the world here. This is 11-year-old bay gelding, and again, it looks like Peter has a longer shank type of bridle on. This one looks like it's a straight hackamore on this one.
Yeah, it looks like a hackamore, but pretty good shank on it.
Jump nicely down that line for sure. And Peter nice and rides tall and strong, very European with his technique. Got that done nicely. And he lost his stirrup again. He lost his stirrup the last time.
Yeah, same spot, I believe.
I believe so. Regrouped. And that vertical came down, just got a little deep and maybe just a little all over the place there. Looks like the horse might be just a little on the greener side or less experienced side. And I rolls that plank off again.
Yeah, the horse is actually quite a good jumper, but looks a little bit on the green side. I agree with you.
Good round of experience, though.
It's on 73.74 seconds. 8 jumping from something like 780s from Peter Pagenik.
Here we'll get to see on the replay, he made a really good turn here and really had to manufacture that. But there is where he lost his stirrup, like he did in the last one. Kept going to the Longines jumps, though. Here we have, I think, probably one of the crowd favorites as well, Mr. Will Simpson and the Dude, 9-year-old brown gelding. And Will is awesome. Will is awesome to watch. He and this horse are becoming a real team, a real force to be reckoned with in the jump-offs. They've gone so fast in some jump-offs. I've watched that it's incredible. But really cool horse. Kind of has his own technique a little bit, very careful. Seems to be learning more and more scope as he goes, and he's got a gold medalist riding him, so he's getting some of the best rides and information he could have.
Yeah, this horse had a tremendous winner in Thermal, winning several Grand Prix there week after week, and you know, I have to agree with you. I think this horse is really finding his scope. Looks like he's going to jump the big classes. I know Willa he's got the World Cup finals on his radar with this horse.
Beautiful turn there. Beautiful in the 6. And you know Will goes in with a plan, and he's so incredible about executing that plan and just being so precise and knowing where he's at every step of the way. Knowing where his horse is at. Jumped that great. Let's see here at the plank. Held him off that nicely. Made that horse jump that beautifully. Good solid round.
Yeah, that was a great round. Maybe held off the last up a little bit and had a rub on the back rail, but the horse jumped a beautiful round. Very, very careful. And you know, he was quick, but I don't think he hurried the horse anywhere. He really just kind of let the horse canter along and jump a nice round. Beautiful setup for Saturday night.
Yeah, just like that Oxford there out of the double and the 6 stride, just beautiful, showed its scope. Will squaring up the turn here to the Liverpool and setting that horse up for success. Jumps it dead straight and jumps it clean, beautiful. We have Carl Cook back, and he has Basimoto back this time, a 9-year-old bay gelding. And this has been a younger horse. I believe Carl's been kind of bringing along a little bit. Very thoroughbred type little horse. They've been taking their time. Carl gets unbelievable coaching from Eric Neve. That's got to be quite exciting for him. And this little horse won the $75,000 class at the Sunshine Series there last year, and it's been having a nice steady year of mileage.
Yeah, this is a cute horse. Again, you know, Carl, a tall rider, makes the horse look probably smaller than it really is, but looks like a very handy horse.
That was a very handy turn there. And I give Carl credit. You know, he's been working quite hard. He found a great person to come coach him in Eric Neve, and it appears that he listens to what he's being told, and he puts in the time. And I've seen his riding improve tremendously, and he really goes for it. You know, and now he's going for it with a plan and technique. And he's had some nice results lately. Unfortunately, they're just a little long.
Yeah, that was too bad. He was having a super round, and just the last 2 jumps came down. He almost set the skinny up too much. I thought he held off, trying to protect it. It was just too long. It almost was a little sticky leaving the ground, but that was a great round. I think, you know, you talk about Eric Neve. I think, you know, he's got Ali Nilfarushan. I think he was very instrumental in bringing Eric on board and coaching Carl, and it's really working out. Made it to a couple World Cup finals, and I think they've really got a plan for the future.
A good team. You need a good team. Here we have Quentin Judge on H&H Copen van de Broy. Beautiful stallion. And a great stallion for Quentin. They've had some huge success.
Yeah, this horse jumped all over the world. This is a horse originally ridden by Gregory Wathelet, then moved on to Marcus Enning. So the horse has shown everywhere. Great results with both those top riders. And, you know, now with Quentin, it's obviously his number 1 horse. He's had some great results with it as well. Big jumper. And actually a very, very careful horse. You watch this horse go and you think, oh, he's a big scopy horse, but he's actually quite careful as well.
I think Quentin's picked some really, really nice types for himself. You know, we talk about horse rider combinations, and just watching Quentin over the last couple months of being out here and out in the West Coast here, and some of the horses that he brought along and rode, they suit him so well. And you know, this stallion suits him so well. It just seems like his ride. You know, Quentin's a strong rider, a big guy, strong guy, and it's a nice type strong stallion, and they just seem to be a great combination.
Yeah, for sure. He likes a bigger type horse. He's got great backers. His father-in-law, Hunter Harrison, Jeannie Harrison, Double H Farm support him, and really a great string of horses.
And he works hard. You know, I see him out there doing his flat work, you know, doing his homework, and you have to do that as well.
Yeah, and he works, McLean helps him a lot when he's available. I know McLean was thermal last week and took a few days and drove out and helped Quentin school the horses and really prepare for the show. I think this is an important show, being a World Cup qualifier on Saturday. Quentin has sort of set his sights on that, and that's sort of that's the goal for next year, for him to go to those World Cup finals.
Well, and you see, rode that skinny, beautiful, kept his reins short, stayed organized, rode a beautiful 6 to that last Oxer, and ends up with a nice clear round. Lazur and Robert Blanchette. Next in the ring, we have an Irish rider in the mix here. This is a 12-year-old bay stallion, and Robert, he's been going everywhere. He's been in California, he's been up to Canada, he's back over here now to Las Vegas. He's got a few horses, and he's been getting the prize money a lot of different places. This is a big scopy horse. I think Robert's had this one for quite a while.
Hard rub at A and B, and they both come down so early on already. He's sitting on 8 faults.
Yeah, horse just really didn't look like it focused through there. Vertical there at A down as well. You know, sometimes horses just have off days, kind of like us people, you know. It happens.
Yep, that's for sure. I mean, it's, you know, that's why our sport is so different. We've got to be on our game. The horse has to be on the game. You know, already he's sitting on, well, I was going to say 16, now he's on 20. I mean, for sure this isn't going to be in for Saturday night. He's got 24 faults. Unfortunately, not the way he wanted it to go.
Finish up here, last couple jumps, maybe just get a nice finish, and yeah, it's not. It doesn't always go the way we want it to. But he'll go think about that and think about what he did with this horse and adjust from there. Here you can see that double. The horse just never really sat behind and jumped up through that double. He just kind of stayed at it. And here we are with Eric Neve and Jonker Z, bay stallion, 13 years old, and this horse seems to respond well to Eric. Carl's ridden it, Eric's ridden it, Carl's ridden it, and now Eric's riding it again. It's not one of the easiest horses to ride, and I think Eric's experience pays off with this horse.
I mean, this basically, fundamentally, this is if tonight you only watch one rider, this is the rider you watch. I mean, he is perfection on a horse. He's effective. He's soft. He gets the horse rideable. If you look at his hands, even when he's holding the reins, there's not a lot of pressure. His fingers are soft. Everything about the way he rides and what he does is fundamentally perfect. he's just year after year for so many years, he's just been such a top rider. The position, the style, everything about what he does is perfection.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I try to watch him every time I can. I try to watch him in the schooling ring, and God, I wish he would do a clinic or give lessons.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of this round, and if he knocks a jump down, if he doesn't, I mean, he does it as well as anybody. And if you watch his hands, this is obviously a strong stallion. Eric makes the horse look like butter. He makes the horse look, it's got a beautiful mouth, a soft way of going.
I think he's so strong in his lower body position, his leg and his seat. They're always in perfect timing, and he's not balancing on his horse's mouth. He's making the horse carry its own balance. I mean, like you say, if you're going to watch one rider, watch Eric.
Back in the day when we were younger, we would come, and you actually spent some time on the East Coast with him, but back in the day, we would come to the ring to watch Rodney ride, and totally different styles, but Rodney is one of those riders you came to watch. I mean, I was talking with Kent Farrington earlier in the day, and even with what he's accomplished, Kent just comes to the ring to watch Eric ride. I mean, it's really that exciting and that enjoyable to watch him ride.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, and you're right. I had that bit of time with Rodney, and I tell you what, it was the best time. And you can see here Eric, his hands just soft and with his horse, and just lets that horse get there and explode. And look at on the landing, ready to go to the next one. And Rodney, it was awesome, and Rodney was a man of few words, and you really had to watch him, but it was an amazing experience. Well, it looks like Pumped Up Kicks is pumped up tonight and ready to go with Jennifer Gates, and this 12-year-old Gray Gelding is he's been with Jennifer about a year, I guess, or so.
Yeah, maybe a little less. I believe, I'm not quite sure. I believe Lily Keenan was still riding the horse in Florida, but for sure she's had it all summer. Horse that Lily did a little bit of everything with this horse. When they bought this horse was sort of bought to be maybe a junior jumper, maybe young rider horse for Lily. And as it turns out, it brought her right to the Grand Prix level, and actually a great horse for Jen to get into the Grand Prix ranks. This is a horse, I call him a goer. She slowed down so much there was just no impulsion. But this horse is always looking to go to the back rail. He's got plenty of scope. He's got plenty of push. So really a good horse to jump to big classes.
Well, and I think it's challenging for Jennifer. She's doing school. I think she doesn't get a lot of practice time in, and when you're going to jump these bigger jumps, you need some practice time, and you need to get in the saddle, and it's challenging. She's doing school, she gets to fly in, she gets right on and steps into a big class, and you have to give her kudos for that. But again, it's hard when you're trying to step right into a 1.50 m qualifying class for a World Cup class, and she does a good job, and this is a lovely horse, very well suited for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a perfect mount for her, and I think it. Oh, okay. She did have the refusal, but the horse looks, even there, Jen made a pretty big mistake, but the horse jumped the jump and didn't really get undone by it.
Yeah, and I think she gets experience, and she's still young. She has a whole future ahead of her, and she'll have some more classes this week to get in the groove.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jen just showed up this afternoon. She flew in this afternoon, had a flat, and thrown right into the big class. And for sure, as you said, trying to juggle school and this, it's a big deal. It's hard enough when we're doing this every day, day in and day out. She's got school to be on her mind, so that was unfortunate. But
she'll bounce back. She's got some more rides. And here our final ride, Calero with Alyssa Heck, 12-year-old bay gelding, and this is a jumper. We all watched this horse over the last couple of years, and Calero, we've watched at Spruce Meadows and California and different places, and this horse has all the scope in the world. And Alyssa, she's been bringing him along herself. backstory. It was supposed to just be an equitation horse. And she went up to try a different horse, and the other horse she didn't really care for, and she wanted to know what this one was, and she sat on it, and it was just supposed to be an equitation horse, and here it is now, a really, really good meter 50-60 horse.
Yeah, this is a great horse. I've watched it, plenty on the live stream. Again, this horse also showed in Thomas and Mack during the World Cup finals. I mean, the rideability looks good. He'll wait. He bounces when he needs to. He'll leave out the stride. He looks like he basically does whatever you ask of him.
Very polite, very, very nicely broke. He's a big horse, but he's on the lighter side. He's careful. I mean, and just so much scope. And she got a rub there, but she was quite deep there, and he just powered up over it. They're very nice to the vertical. And again, a clear round. He jumps lots of clear rounds. Great ride, Alyssa, and we'll get to see her on Saturday, so that's exciting. Here's a little replay of that oxer. She got down there, not even super straight, and he used all his power and scope, had a little behind rub, but he tried his guts out.
Yeah, and I think that rub on that oxer really helped her at the next plank. She got a little bit long at the plank, but he finished behind well there. We ended up having plenty of clear rounds in the end. So we're going to, final results here. We're going to turn it over to Davin for the award ceremony, and a great class here. Was a treat commentating with you, Joey, and look forward to Saturday night.
Yeah, it was very fun to commentate with you, Jimmy, and as you can see on the screen, we've got Eduardo Menendez, the winner, with Quintal, Kristen Heineken second, Will Simpson third, Richard Spooner fourth, Quentin Judge fifth, Eric Neves sixth, Christian Heineken again seventh, Peter Lutz eighth. Oh, those were all on clear rounds. Continuing the clear rounds, Jonathan McCree ninth, Alyssa Heck 10th, Lucy Davis 11th, 12th, Mark Rock. Those top 12 all clear rounds. Those are all coming back for Saturday. Then our four falters, Rich Flowers, Arden Tao, Eduardo again, Enrique Gonzalez. Then we've got Kent Farrington, Yost Verloy, Audrey Coulter, Margie Goldstein, Lauren Crooks, Carrie Ann Boyce Lockhart, Paris Sellen, Simon Nisri, all in the top 24 with four faults. And then Paul Rohrbach, Peter Pachenik, Matt Williams, Jenny Martin McAllister, Kent Farrington, and Jamie Barge, rounding up the top 30. Now there's a couple of double rides in there. So some of those other riders might move up. Margie might end up moving up because of the double rides on Royce here with 8 faults. Christine Tribble McCree with 8 faults. Casey Ament with 8 faults. Niall Nassar, Carl with Cook with Tembla, Hannah Selleck with Barlow. A few of those 8 falters might end up being able to move up into the top 30, Jimmy. So we'll have to see the final count here.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see how it shakes up. And with the multiple rides, I think several of those riders that look like they're on the bubble are probably going to get in.
I thought a very, very nice course by Olaf Jr., like you said. No one got in trouble. All the horses had a lot of good experience out there. And the exciting class Saturday.
So we'll go down to Davin for the awards, and see you Saturday night.
See you Saturday.
2015 goes down in American sport history with the launch of the Longines FEI World Cup jumping North American League. The perfect combination of high-profile sport, family entertainment, and thrilling competition. Kicking off in August across the continent. glory.
What a horse, what a combination, and what a time.
In a region where equestrian sport has been growing at full gallop, a brand new major league, the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League.
43.83 down with just one to go.
The best human and equine athletes of the sport battling to qualify for the amazing Longines FEI World Cup Jumping Final.
Et il le fait. Oui, pour 15e. Extraordinaire. Quelle finale fantastique.
Increíble. ¡Qué tiempo! ¡Qué caballo! ¡El ganador!
A unique sport, rich in personalities, where human and horse must have a true partnership to succeed, and where men and women share the same podium. An electrifying finish to the Longines season, a truly global final, where the biggest stars of international jumping will fight for the trophy and a massive €1.3 million jackpot.
A world-class performance by a world-class man.
The most exciting equestrian events in 14 outstanding venues across 3 countries, Mexico, the United States, and Canada. Taking the sport across the continent to iconic cities and world-class equestrian locations. 2015 goes down in American sport history with the launch of the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League. The perfect combination of high-profile sport, family entertainment, and thrilling competition. Kicking off in August across the continent.
Certainly what a great competition, $35,000 Las Vegas FEI Welcome Speed Classic 57. Well, 57 started. We're going to bring our top 5 back to the ring for presentations here in just a moment. And the Las Vegas FEI Welcome Speed Classic presented by Park Place Foundation. Joining us for these award presentations on behalf of Park Place Foundation. On behalf of Relive Sports, Russell Brand is the Vice President of Marketing. Let's bring our champion back into the ring, and he rides for Brazil, the fastest of the clears. What a win for Team Cole and Longines. Presentations just in the chute there, and that brand new cooler of Team Cole. Here he is, that winning horse right there, Team Cole, and the rider, the fastest of the clears from Brazil, that's Longines. And I love the cooler provided by Horse for Ireland. But also receiving Glenn Horse Trophy and Relive Design hat. We're talking by the placings from the $35,000 Las Vegas FEI Welcome Speed Classic. Now laps just getting lined up right there. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to honor our champion, we'd ask you to please rise for the playing of the Brazilian national anthem. We'll have our local representatives from Park Place Foundation step forward, and let's meet our champion from Brazil, Longines. What a being told that's great 10-year-old gelding. It's going to represent part of the foundation, Silver Ribbon, as you look right there. Hamburg Glenn Sports, the Vice President of Marketing at U.S. Credit. Let's continue on, and we are billed in second place. And that is the German rider, Christian Heineke. Third place, Will Simpson and the Dude. Fourth to the Master of Master, Richard Spooner. In fifth, also running for the USA, Quentin John. Great competition, $35,000 Las Vegas FEI Welcome Speed Classic. Let's get our representatives from the Parkway Foundation. To remain where they are and will ask our champion of 1 on SS. And Kim Cole to lead our field in our victory round.